Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the glittering surface of the nightlife? It's a question that often goes unasked, the answer hidden beneath layers of neon lights and pulsating beats. Yet, it's a question that needs to be asked because behind the facade of parties and fun, there lurks a dark secret. Today, we're going to delve into this unspoken reality, the underbelly of the nightlife, and expose the grim truth of prostitution. The nightlife is often portrayed as a world of glamour and excitement, filled with drinks, music, and laughter. It's a place where people can let their hair down, escape from their everyday worries, and live in the moment. And yet, there's a side to this world that many prefer to ignore. A side that's not so glamorous, not so exciting, but rather a harsh reality that thousands of individuals face every day. Prostitution in nightlife is a global issue. It doesn't discriminate between urban and rural, rich or poor, young or old. It's an unfortunate reality that transcends borders and cultures, affecting countless lives in the process. While some might argue that sex work is a choice, the truth is often far more complex. Many individuals are coerced into this life, trapped by circumstances beyond their control, or lured by false promises of a better life. They are forced to sell their bodies, their dignity, and often their futures, all for the sake of survival. The glittering lights of the nightlife often mask this harsh reality. They create an illusion of fun and freedom, a mirage that distracts from the exploitation and suffering that's happening right under our noses. So the next time you're out enjoying the nightlife, remember what lies beneath the surface. Remember the hidden faces, the silent cries, the unspoken stories. Remember that behind the glamour and the glitz, there's a darker side that needs our attention, our empathy, and our action. As the old saying goes, all that glitters is not gold, and nowhere is this truer than in the nightlife. Now that we've peeled back the curtain, let's examine some hard-hitting facts and figures. Prostitution in the nightlife, a clandestine industry hidden beneath the glitz and glamour, involves an alarming number of individuals. It's estimated that millions worldwide are entangled in this dark web, their ages varying dramatically. It's a chilling thought that a significant portion of these individuals are minors, some as young as 12, coerced into this shadowy world. The conditions under which these individuals live and work are far from the glimmering allure of the nightlife. Many are forced to work in unsafe environments with minimal security and protection. Overcrowded, unsanitary living conditions are a commonplace, often leading to a host of health issues. The risks these individuals face are numerous and severe. Violence is a haunting specter, an ever-present threat. Studies show that individuals in this line of work are 18 times more likely to be murdered compared to the general population, a statistic that sends a chill down the spine. Disease, too, is a significant risk. The prevalence of sexually transmitted infections among these individuals is staggeringly high, with HIV rates being several times higher than the average population. Limited access to healthcare and preventive measures exacerbate this issue. Addiction is another grim reality. Often, these individuals turn to substances as a means of coping with their harsh realities. The vicious cycle of addiction and prostitution is a well-documented phenomenon, a tragic trap that ensnares many. This is not a choice for many involved, but rather a desperate means to survive. Poverty, lack of education, and societal pressures are just some of the factors that push individuals into this hazardous occupation. It's a harsh reality that the glitzy neon lights of the nightlife hide. These stark facts and figures reveal a side of nightlife that many choose to ignore. It's a world that exists parallel to our own, invisible to many, yet devastatingly real for those trapped within it. Behind each statistic is a human being with a story. Let's delve into the personal toll that prostitution takes on those entangled in its web. Firstly, the psychological impact is profound. The euphemism, oldest profession, does a disservice to the trauma many in the sex trade experience. Imagine living a life filled with anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. A life where trust is a luxury and self-esteem is often eroded to a point of no return. This mental toll is a silent epidemic, its victims often suffering in silence, their pain masked by the neon glow of the nightlife. Secondly, the physical harm cannot be overlooked. The risk of contracting sexually transmitted diseases is high, and violence is, unfortunately, an occupational hazard. In a world where their safety is often secondary to the desires of their clients, many sex workers bear the brunt of physical abuse. Their bodies, rather than being their own, become commodities in a market that rarely cares for their well-being. Escaping this lifestyle is a Herculean task. Many who find themselves in prostitution are trapped by circumstances beyond their control: poverty, addiction, coercion. The chains of the trade are not always visible, but they are heavy and unyielding. The road to escape is fraught with obstacles, from the lack of viable job alternatives to the fear of retribution from pimps or traffickers. Lastly, the societal stigma attached to sex work casts a long, oppressive shadow. Society's judgment can be a formidable barrier to seeking help or starting afresh. The label prostitute can stick like a scarlet letter, marking them out for prejudice, discrimination, and exclusion. Consider the story of Jane, a woman who entered the trade at 16, driven by desperation and a need to survive. She speaks of the silent tears, the unending fear, and the crushing loneliness. Or John, who was lured into the male sex trade, his dreams of a better life replaced by the harsh reality of exploitation. These stories serve as a stark reminder that behind the neon lights lies a much darker reality. We've journeyed into the shadows of the nightlife, unveiling a world that many choose to ignore. This journey has shown us the harsh realities of prostitution, a dark side of the nightlife that's often overlooked. We've delved into the hard-hitting statistics, revealing a gritty world where exploitation and abuse are rampant. We've also laid bare the human impact, the stories of lives forever changed by this dark trade. These aren't just numbers or faceless victims, these are real people with real stories and real pain. Their voices, often silenced, need to be heard. We have a responsibility to share this knowledge, to spark conversations, to raise awareness. So, share this video with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Let's bring this issue into the light. Let's start the conversation. Remember, awareness is the first step towards change. Together, we can shine a light on the dark side of the nightlife.